Now let's move on to pain. And what pain basically is something on your prospect side that's not working well and most likely causing some sort of negative impact. Although it doesn't necessarily need to be that obvious. Maybe it could be that something could be working better. So I mean, there's a difference there, right? Something's not working good is pain, but then there's also pain where things are okay, but there's this great huge gap. Like for example, there's a manual process that your prospect has just become accustomed to, and they don't really know that they're spending much more work, and there's no negative impact. You can automate that, so you can make things 10 times better. And so that's pain. It's actually called latent pain. They don't know that it exists, but it's there. So something to keep in mind. A key thing to try to figure out when you're prospecting is, are things great, good, okay, or could be better? If they're great or good, then there's no pain, and maybe that's not a good prospect for you to spend your valuable time selling to. If things are okay or could be better, maybe there's some pain there. Now, getting granular with pain, we have those same three levels, right? So at the technical level, the most visible level, you might have technical pain. Something's not working right, or it's slow, it's not reliable. Those challenges are causing business pain, so there's high costs. The revenue's not as high as it could be. That could be causing personal pain for your buyer. Maybe they're worried about losing their job. They're having to work on the weekends and take time away from their family. So start thinking about, what pain points do you fix? And those should be key in your talk tracks. Those are more important than talking about the great bells and whistles of your product. People don't buy the bells and whistles of your product. People buy solutions to fix their problems. So I've sold, like I said, I've sold software for a lot of companies, and I would imagine that there's a lot of salespeople that I've worked with in the past that could talk the speeds and feeds, but if they really had to make a list of the key problems that fixes for the prospects that they're trying to sell to, it might take them, they might not know at the top of their head, right? If they were really pressed on a whiteboard and you said, come on, think of it, they might, after 20 minutes be able to pull together a list. You have to have that list at the top of your head. It has to be closer to the front of your mind than the features of your product. So if you don't know the key list of problems to throw, by the way, you can throw them into a conversation. You can, and so, for example, if you're trying cold calling someone, you could actually say, hey, I talk with a lot of CFOs, and they have this type of challenge and they have that type of challenge. Are you seeing any of that at your company? Right? That's a way to give pain in order to get pain. So it's very important. You could also use pain as a way to respond to objections. If someone says, we're not interested. Oh, okay, yeah, I understand. But a lot of CFOs I talk to, they're concerned about inventory turnover and how that's impacting the cost of goods sold. So that's an area that just to confirm, that's an area that you don't have any concerns about. So that's a way to use pain to respond to an objection. So how do you get to that key list of pain points? Well, here's a systematic way that you can get there. We left off with a few value points, and I pulled those over onto this slide that we are returning to. For each of these value points, there is an associated pain point in theory, right? If you help to fix something, then that in theory fixes some sort of problem. Let me rephrase that. If you help to improve something, that should help to fix some sort of problem or make some sort of challenge go away. So let's look at the list. If you help to decrease time spent ordering, then for your ideal prospect, maybe they're spending too much time ordering. And if you help to increase ordering accuracy, then that might help to resolve the issue that ordering errors are occurring. And if you help to decrease the amount of time it takes to gather information, maybe that might eliminate the issue that it's difficult and time consuming to gather information, that there's no visibility. I mean, if these benefits don't really fix those problems, then maybe we're off with our benefits. And if the prospect that we're talking to doesn't have these problems here, then maybe they aren't interested in all those benefits that we provide. So this is a very systematic way to get to the key talk tracks that you need to have.